ArcelorMittal Third Amendment Agreement. I would like to say thank you to the Joint Committee for a good job. Mr. President, the Senate went further into working with the committee before the final report. I think we have adopted a formula that is helping with the way we handle the concession agreements here. We took a week to scrutinize jointly after the Joint Committee work this agreement. We took into consideration the concerns of all of the counties within the ArcelorMittal area, Nema, Bond County, and Grand Bassa County. So we did give support to all of the counties. And I want to address the concern for Senator Topo. There was nothing done with this agreement. I think the issue has been the social infrastructure agreement. In the agreement, it says that after 90 days, the social infrastructure agreement for these 3 counties will be developed. And the counties were concerned about the plan and the benefits of the counties, especially what would be included in the agreement. So the Senate went as far as having joint meetings with IMCC and reaching out to the IMCC to ArcelorMittal to get commitments. And we have commitment in our possession, which says that when it's time for the social infrastructure agreement, what we have in our commitment will be in our agreement. So it's before us, and that is to address the concern of Senator Yan Twain. Even with our engagement 2 days ago, we also succeeded in getting more support to the counties. For Grand Bassa County, we succeeded in getting additional $3 million to focus on 2 roads. In fact, in our community engagement, county engagement, on the weekend, there was a request of the citizens to make sure that the Unyo road is paved by ArcelorMittal, and the back on the road is pliable, and we're able to get that approved. Even in addition to our push as a Senate, the $950,000 for the Children's Sports Park for Bond County is now included. The renovation of viable houses for employees was part of that agreement, negotiation, grading and maintenance of feeder roads. Before, you will request machines and write a letter to request that, but it's in the commitment that was sent to the IMCC. So we're not going to take this lightly. We'll work with the 3 counties to make sure what we have in this commitment is put into the social infrastructure agreement. The agreement is not 100% to us, but I think it's more improved. And it's good that we have 5 years revision clause. So moving forward, we can always make amendments to improve on this. But the counties have received additional money for social development fund, and they have received money for signing bonus, Nema $6 million, Bassa $4 million, Bond $3 million. And I think it's a good start, and we look forward to the oversight that will make these to be managed well for the counties to benefit. So on this note, I want to encourage all of us to vote for this agreement, and to say thank you again to the Senate for the formula that we have adopted to review and scrutinize this agreement. I think moving forward, we'll do well, and the country will benefit. But we also want to include in the plan the revision of some of these concession agreements that we are complaining about. I think since we have started to scrutinize in this manner, our oversight should be used to review some of the agreements, like what Senator Tabal Fabula is talking about, and other senators, so they can make sure that they can benefit in such a manner. And I think these concessionaires will cooperate as they've done with the Salamita agreement. So thank you so much, and I appeal that we vote for this agreement. Thank you.
The State of the Nation address will always sound good because it is someone grading themselves. But the real grade should be found in the 2026 budget. And that is where our government is failing. Budgets are moral documents. They reveal who a government truly serves, not in speeches, but in priorities. SONA tells us what the government claims it did. The budget tells us what government actually believes in. The State of the Nation address is meant to report progress. But progress cannot be measured in speeches alone. It is measured in budgets, in action, and in lived realities of the ordinary Liberian. The government claims to have created nearly 70,000 short to medium-term jobs. But without proof, transparency, or a clear path to permanent employment, this claim rings hollow, as most of the jobs being reported were created by government for government, not by a thriving private sector. That is a recipe for disaster. Even if inflation may look lower on paper, Liberians do not eat statistics. They buy food, pay rent, and pay transportation costs, and life remains expensive. Even if farmers receive some support, and some schools receive computer labs, mechanized farming, storage, and processing remain largely absent. And with over 2,000 schools across Liberia, 156 computer labs is not transformation, it's tokenism. Fellow Liberians, as much as the SONA is important, what matters far more is the budget. The perks we give to officials, the bloated government system we maintain, the weakness of the private sector, and even the contradictions issued after the speech. Liberia is too rich for Liberians to be this poor. In 2026, the government added nearly $400 million to the national budget. This money should have been used to build factories, stimulate production, and revive the private sector. Even small reallocations, such as redirecting the Speaker's $500,000 entertainment fund, could place well over 100 jobless young people in employment for an entire year at a minimum salary of $250. Fellow Liberians, as we stated before, the 2026 budget of $1.2 billion is not for the people. If the budget was for the ordinary Liberians, the government would not have allocated less than $10 million combined for more than 10 public colleges and teacher training institutions, while $11 million to just 6 political offices: the office of the President, Vice President, Pro Temp, Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and Chief Justice. If the 2026 budget was for ordinary Liberians, the government would not have allocated $200,000 to Maryland Vocational Training Institute, while setting aside over $500,000 for scratch cards. This is malpractice. Fellow Liberians, the most decisive lever for national transformation is human capital development. Yet, the historic $1.2 billion budget continues to reward consumption over production, recurrent spending over long-term investment, and political convenience over national development. No country can grow when its government does not invest in human capital development. Since 2006, nearly 90% of government spending has gone to recurrent expenditure, with only about 10% allocated to capital investment. In simple terms, for every dollar spent on roads, schools, and hospitals, $9 goes to salary, travel, fuel, and operational cost. If this continues, Liberia will remain trapped with a 19th century workforce trying to survive in the 21st century economy. Spending more on government comfort than on health and education guarantees our failure. It ensures we do not tackle the nearly 30% stunting rate among our children. A malnourished child cannot learn. A child who cannot learn cannot lead, or even contribute to society's well-being, or even themselves. That is why a country that spends on comfort instead of capacity will not grow. It will borrow, it will beg, and it will bleed talent. That is not development. It is managed decline. The day the government begins to invest seriously in human capital, productivity will rise. Workers will become more skilled, poverty will decline, and not through slogans, but through opportunity. Fellow Liberians, Liberia has a youth bulge. Nearly 75% of our population is under the age of 35. This can be our greatest demographic dividend, or it can become a ticking time bomb of frustration and instability. Liberia does not need better speeches. It needs a different budget philosophy, one that prioritizes human capital, private sector growth, and productivity over perks. Until that changes, no SONA, no matter how polished, will translate into real progress for ordinary Liberians. Liberians deserve more. They deserve a government that invests in their future, not just in its own comfort. And Liberians are patient, but we are not blind. History is unforgiving to governments that confuse rhetoric with progress. Our people are not asking for perfection. They are asking for honesty, for urgency, and leadership that matches the size of their struggle. I say again, Liberia is too rich for Liberians to be this poor. God bless our republic.
Lago, 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 lago. All right, small, small. So folks, if you're just joining us, this is Real TV, and this podcast has been shared on the Citizen Movement for Change page. We're coming to you live and direct from Zwedru, Grand Julia County, where the political leader of the Citizen Movement for Change arrived here. Please share the live podcast if you're just joining us. This is overwhelming. Thousands of citizens have gathered. Mothers, fathers have gathered to welcome the political leader of the Citizen Movement for Change. The Citizen Movement for Change political leader arrived in the country yesterday. He was in Zellatown. After that, we drove and went to Gate Town inside District number 3. And I think this is District number 1, right? Zwedru, Grand Julia County, District number 1. We're now here. If you're just joining us, Real TV, and the podcast is shared on the Citizen Movement for Change page. Share the live broadcast if you're just joining us. My name is Bill Yan Lama, bringing you this update here from Zwedru, Grand Julia County. Thousands of supporters have gathered to welcome the political leader of the Citizen Movement for Change. I see a lot of. We're seeing the chairman there. This is the national chairman of the Citizen Movement for Change. Share the live video. Share the live video if you're just joining us. Thousand days of march. We are a bit distant though, but the PL have decided to walk and do this march. So as you're all aware, the political leader of the the Citizen Movement for Change political leader Honorable Musa Hassan Belete is on the Southeast tour. He entered the country yesterday. He entered the county yesterday through District 3, which is the first district when you come from Nimba, and he slept Zeletan yesterday. Zeletan, I guess, is one of the biggest city in District 3, Grand Juda County. So this is Zweju, Grand Juda County. Will bring you this live podcast. Thousands of supporters have gathered to welcome the developmental King Kong, the development hero. This is the brain beyond the party. His name is Honorable James Yogi. He is the national chairman of the Citizen Movement for Change. That's in there. He going through an interview. We're coming to you live and direct. Please share the live video if you're just joining us. The political leader is on a southeastern tour. I guess he will be in River G tomorrow or today. As we march through, passing through Grand Juda, he will be in Grand Juda, that's River G also tomorrow with the same march. This march started in Nimba. Nimba was the first to welcome the CMC, as other term it as the tail link of the country. The tail link of the country. I guess that is the slogan that have been used. If you cannot find an alternative from another place, you can. There is an alternative. If you cannot find yourself in other parties, this is an alternative. Yeah. The political leader is way there. He is way there along with his entourage. Well, we'll try to zoom in to capture his face. If you can see through our screen, let's try to clean that for you. Let's try to capture the PL of the Citizen Movement for Change among the crowd there. Thousands of supporters. Slow down. You gotta wait, small. So like I said, we are way ahead of this tree. The security, bro. So this march is really long. As you can see there. Let go, let go, let go, let go. All right, small, small. So folks, if you're just joining us, this is Real TV, and this podcast has been shared on the Citizen Movement for Change page. We're coming to you live and direct from Zwedru, Grand Julia County, where the political leader of the Citizen Movement for Change arrived here. Please share the live podcast if you're just joining us. This is overwhelming. Thousands of citizens have gathered. Mothers, fathers have gathered to welcome the political leader of the Citizen Movement for Change. The Citizen Movement for Change political leader arrived in the country in the county yesterday. He was in Zelletown. After that, we drove and went to Gate Town inside District number 3. And I think this is District number 1, right? Zwedru, Grand Julia County, District number 1. We're now here. If you're just joining us, Real TV, and the podcast is shared on the Citizen Movement for Change page. Share the live broadcast if you're just joining us. My name is Bill Yan Lama, bringing you this update here from Zwedru, Grand Julia County. Thousands of supporters have gathered to welcome the political leader of the Citizen Movement for Change. I see a lot of. We're seeing the chairman there. This is the national chairman of the Citizen Movement for Change. Share the live video if you're just joining us. Thousands days of march. We are a bit distant though. People here have the PL have decided to walk and do this march.